mouthing off at the Cheltenham Literary Festival to promote one of his crass novels, token BBC camp gay bloke Graham Norton decided to have an unprovoked pop at John Cleese for speaking out against cancel culture. Norton doesn't agree with the term cancel culture and thinks it's better defined as holding people to account. According to Norton, so-called cancel culture is about understanding that words have consequences, because in Norton's reckoning it would seem punishing people who express any opinion outside of mainstream woke faux liberal groupthink by having them smeared and ostracised and destroying their livelihood is a perfectly reasonable response to being pushed outside of your ideological comfort zone. Whereas for the rest of us, who have a capacity for rational thought and empathy, wrecking people's lives because they had an opinion you disagree with isn't in fact holding them to account, it's an act of extreme malice. Our free speech is already fully regulated by laws developed, debated and refined over centuries, and we certainly don't need vindictive bullying mob justice by individuals and organisations outside of the law who've somehow nonetheless appointed themselves judge, jury and executioner. But we can't expect Graham Norton to live in the real world. He's a man who's been gifted a multi-million-pound livelihood because he ticked all the right boxes for the Marxist nutjobs who run the BBC. He's a man who thinks if he speaks loudly and quickly enough and screeches the end of his sentences whilst dressing like an autistic gigolo, it will disguise his total lack of charm and wit. Whilst Cleese is responsible for arguably some of the greatest comedic art of the 20th century, Norton is responsible for dumbing down our culture with his vapid, inane and very much past its sell-by date inauthentic chit-chat in prime-time slots on state-funded television. And after churning out his woke platitudes at a tired literary festival, he then had the mind-boggling hypocrisy and lack of self-awareness to arrogantly dismiss Cleese as a man of a certain age. You wouldn't have thought someone clearly clutching at the moral high ground like Norton would sink so thoughtlessly into rank ageism, especially when you consider that he himself is pushing 60. But there you have it. These are the sort of unctuous parasites that the BBC is squandering your licence fee money on. If you haven't already cancelled your licence, now might be the time to do so.